Hey up, it's that old Yorkshire geek here, back again with some more geeky news. Just my microphone, I don't know where to put this thing. Right, so let's crack on, as they say, or as I say, or I don't know, people say things, don't they? They do. Right, where's my window? What am I doing? I don't know. There we go, number one. First off, on NME, the New Musical Express. If you didn't know what that stood for, that's what it stands for. As usual, all the links are in the description box below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Where's my other finger? There. Like and subscribe. It says it up there, in them red things up there. Like and subscribe and share the videos and, what else? Use the notification bell and drop a comment in the comments below. And join the live chat, you know, if you're out there. But you're not. Right, anyway, so Steven Spielberg criticised for describing Squid Game cast as unknown people. The legendary director also spoke about how the K-drama has changed the industry, and there he is. Lee Jung-jae and Steven Spielberg. I think that's Steven Spielberg on the right. Right, Steven Spielberg has garnered online backlash for calling... Well, everybody gets online backlash these days, don't they? For calling the cast... Except for me, because nobody knows I'm here. For calling the cast of Netflix's popular K-drama... I hate that. I hate when they do that. K-drama and J-horror and... Just call it what it is. Squid Game unknown people. The legendary Hollywood director made an appearance at a PGA Awards panel on Saturday, March 19th, where he spoke about the game-changing impact the hit Korean drama has had on the entertainment industry and praised Netflix for its decision to cast actors that are supposedly lesser known in the West. Well, they are, aren't they? Squid Game comes along and changes the math entirely for all of us. That's maths, Stephen. Spielberg said while gesturing towards Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos. Or Sarandos? I don't know. I didn't even know who the Netflix CEO was. I thought it was just some mysterious man in a smoky room somewhere on the dark web. Maybe he is, I don't know. Who was in the audience according to Deadline? Thank you, Ted Sarandos. I don't know if he said brackets. Oh, sorry, parentheses. Spielberg's statement came while the panel were discussing whether it was important to cast well-known actors in lead roles for projects to succeed, during which the director also credited the streaming platform for supposedly opening the doors for lesser-known actors to star in TV shows. Cracky, pardon me. 7-Up again. Other soft drinks are available. A long time ago, it was domestic stars that brought the audience into movies, Spielberg added. Today, it's interesting. Unknown people can star in entire miniseries and can be in movies. Yeah, but it's not. There's no stars these days. Not many. It's franchises that attract people. Puts bums on seats. There's not many big movie stars now. Not like in the golden age of cinema. There were proper movie stars. Now there's just actors and actresses. However, Spielberg's comments about the cast of Squid Game have since received criticism from viewers of the viral Netflix hit. On Twitter, more than 3,500 users have shared an IndieWire article about the director's comments, with many pointing out that most of the Squid Game cast members have long been well known throughout Asia. Well, they will be, won't they? It's like, I don't know, if they started playing Coronation Street in America. Maybe they do, I don't know. But you know, nobody in America knows who plays Ken Barlow, do they? You know, neither do I. Bill Roach. Or Deirdre Langton, showing me age now. But same with that, isn't it? You know, America thinks it's, you know, nothing against America or Americans, they're great people, but, you know, they think, and I suppose they are to a certain extent, the centre of the world. Sorry, on each. Probably got fleas. And there's some, I don't know if they're going to, yeah, we'll go through them. There's some tweets, right? Nancy Wang Yen said, correction, Squid Game proves that Hollywood has been way behind in recognising and celebrating long-standing South Korean film, TV, storytelling and talent. And I probably get all these pronunciations wrong. I apologise in advance. Jae Ha Kim, unknown to people who only watch American entertainment, I guess. And Paula says, it's not like they're unknown, it's you who aren't exploring Asian movies / dramas, like when Lee Byung-gun appears, I gasped, and Lee Jung-jae has been a household name since the 90s. People really think the world revolves around Hollywood. Well, yeah, people in America do. Notably, well, there's another one. Notably, Squid Game lead Lee Jung-jae, apologise if I'm getting that wrong, is one of the most bankable celebrities in South Korea, according to Esquire, and has starred in critically acclaimed movies such as 2010's The Housemaid. Meanwhile, Gong Yoo, who appeared in 2 episodes of the K-drama, I said it, Korean drama, was the star of 2016's Train to Busan, which is really, really good. I've not seen The Housemaid, so I can't comment on that. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, Smith, confirmed that Squid Game would return earlier this year, saying it in the streaming giant's latest quarterly earning call that a second season was fast-tracked into development. Director Hwang Dong-hyuk had first confirmed, sorry, I'm laughing at my pronunciation, that's not the name, had first confirmed that he would return for season 2 last November, alongside several hints at the potential direction it would head in, and that's that. So there we go. So yeah, he kind of put his foot in his mouth, didn't he? And but you know, not really, not in a nasty way. Let's get rid of that. Not in a nasty way, just in an American way or a British way. You know, we'd do the same thing, I suppose. But you know, there was no malice. Anyway, right, so we'll move on. Stranger Things. What's that doing? Why is that highlighted? I have no idea. It's this stupid mouse. I need to put my hands in my pocket and get myself a proper mouse, don't I? Not some cheap, crappy fiver thing from supermarket or, you know, Amazon. I need to get a proper good mouse. Who can give me some tips of a good ergonomic mouse that isn't crap and don't lose it, you know, a wireless one that don't lose its charge every 5 minutes. Anyway, Stranger Things Season 4 images show Hopper's rescue mission and return. Netflix does a photo dump of Stranger Things Season 4 images, including showing off Joyce's rescue mission and Hopper's triumphant return to Hawkins. And there, is that Hopper? Is that? I don't actually know. I forgot what it looks like. Anyway, new first look images from Stranger Things Season 4 show details of Hopper's triumphant return. The series, which was created by the Duffer Brothers, has been one of Netflix's biggest hit series since its first season dropped in 2016. I'm surprised it's still going. You know what Netflix is like. The series, which follows the residents of Hawkins, Indiana in the 1980s, combines elements of Amblin film spectacle, 80s horror and Dungeons & Dragons lore to create a supernatural thriller that brings retro to life in an effortlessly modern way. Stranger Things Season 4 was delayed by pandemic considerations, but Part 1 will be dropping on the streaming platform on May 27th, 2022. Nearly my birthday, nearly. Followed by Part 2 on July the 1st, 2022. So they're not dropping them all at once then, are they? Like they used to do in the old days. Jim Hopper, played by David Harbour. See, he does look different in that picture. So I'm thinking him that played Hellboy as well, didn't he? Which I didn't mind that film. Not as good as the Ron Perlman ones, but, you know, it was alright. Where were we? Jim Hopper, played by David Harbour, has been a major figure in the series since season 1. The former chief of police in Hawkins, Hopper is a surrogate father to 11, Millie Bobby Brown, a young girl with telekinetic powers. Not so young now, is she? In season 3, the gang discovered a Russian base under the mall, attempting to harness the power of the town's gate to the Upside Down. And it seemed that Hopper was killed in an explosion while attempting to shut them down. However, it was revealed in the Stranger Things season 4 teaser that he has been transported to Russia and is currently in a prison work camp in Kamchatka, which is a peninsula. Netflix released a gallery of images from Stranger Things Season 4, included among the batch were 2 that detail the journey of Hopper, who is heading back home to Hawkins this season. One shows Joyce, Winona Ryder, on her rescue mission, presumably in Russia. It's like bloody Black Widow or something, in front of what may be a down plane. The other shows a more rugged Hopper, his head now completely shaved. Check out both full-size photos below. I can see one of them. There he is. Where's the other one? The other one in there. Put it in. I should check them, shouldn't I? I should check these articles. I tried to do earlier on today, so I'm changing the subject now. I tried to do a little Twitch stream. I thought, I'll have a go at Twitch, because I've never done Twitch before. So I downloaded their own streaming software, because I've got Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs. But I don't pay. I use the free version because I can't afford to be paying £20 a month or whatever for this Streamlabs thing. So I'll download their version. I thought it'll be all right. It's their own Twitch thing. It's horrible. Didn't I slow your computer down? Well, it did mine anyway. So I did the quick stream. I only had a few minutes because it was doing me head in. I couldn't do the stream and browse. I thought I'll show how I collect my articles to read on my live stream, and I did about 3. And I couldn't I couldn't switch between the tabs and stuff or scroll. It was super jerky. So I ended the stream. I thought, well, I'll watch it back and see what it's like, and I can't find it. It's disappeared into the ether. I've no idea where that stream's gone. So I don't think I'll be using Twitch. Anyway, so I've actually got another streaming thing from XSplit that I might try tomorrow. But we'll see. Right, where were we? The rest of the cast of Stranger Things Season 4 will be filled out by Finn Wolfhard, playing Finn Wolfhard. That's all he does. Every film is exactly the same. Needs to learn some range, does that young man. Anyway, Gaten Matarazzo. Don't ask me who these are, because I've no idea. I know Stranger Things, the characters in it, because I enjoy watching it, but don't ask me the names of the actors, apart from Finn Wolfhard, because he's been in other stuff. Caleb McLaughlin, Noah Schnapp, Sadie Sink. That's like a superhero name, and if I have a comic. Natalia Dyer, Charlie Heaton, Joe Keery, Maya Hawke, whatever, Priya Ferguson, Cara Buono, and Brett Gelman. The series will follow several different threads as a terrifying new evil surfaces while Joyce and Hopper are out of the country. They did show us, though, end of season 3, didn't they? The Russians have got what do they call them? Not paradigm, and that don't sound right, does it? That monster that were in the first season. They've got one of them, haven't they? What do they call them now? One of them, anyway. It's not Parademon, but it's somewhat along them lines, isn't it? Parademons were in Batman and versus Superman, weren't they? Anyway, where were we? The show has teased some major developments involving Eleven returning to the lab where she was imprisoned in the beginning of Season 1, and major supernatural occurrences, potentially including time travel in the haunted Creel house. Stranger Things viewers have had to wait quite a while for new episodes, considering the fact that Season 3 aired in mid-2019. Is it 3 years? Blooming number. However, it seems likely they are making up for lost time by cramming in as many big-ticket storylines as possible into this season. The show will be ending with Season 5, so this penultimate season will also be packed with extra import and drama in the lead-up to the grand finale. I've got noses itching, I'm going to have an argument. Or I've got fleas everywhere, I don't know what's happening. So there we go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Season 4 of Stranger Things. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy Stranger Things. It's good fun. Another thing I enjoy is The Boys, although Season 2 was more of the girls. But anyway, The Boys Season 3 ran out of blood. The cast of The Boys dropped some details on Soldier Boy, Butcher's newfound powers, and why Season 3 is the bloodiest outing yet. And there's Homelander covered in blood. He's done something naughty there, hasn't he? According to Eric Kripke, is that how you pronounce it? Don't know. Showrunner of Prime Video's stylish superhero satire The Boys, the show's writing staff never goes into a given episode or season with the intention of upping the violent ante. Or should that be violence ante? Whatever. We genuinely don't have conversations about trying to top ourselves, Kripke tells Den of Geek during the show's appearance at South by Southwest 2022. I think it's dangerous because if you're working to go bigger and bigger, it's an unsustainable pattern. 80% of the conversation in the room is how do we go deeper with the characters and how do we put them through existential crises. There's no reason to doubt Kripke and the writer's room sincerity. Commitment to character development plays a role in any show's appeal, but particularly The Boys. Adapted from an equally violent comic of the same name by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson, The Boys is one of Prime Video's biggest success stories. Through 2 seasons, the stories of the Vought Corporation Soups and the underground faction known as The Boys, who keeps them in check, has been a major cultural and critical hit. Still, even though Kripke is adamant that characters come first, he can't help but reveal that for the show's upcoming 3rd season, set to premiere on June the 3rd, there is plenty of madness to be had as well. The very first 15 minutes of episode 1 is by far the craziest thing we've ever done, like by a mile. It's a weird, almost James Bond kind of opening. It's its own adventure before you start the season. The hard stuff is figuring out the arcs. The fun stuff is figuring out the exploding bodies. Simply put, viewers crave exploding bodies and blood, and The Boys Season 3 is going to be more than happy to provide all that gore. If it can keep up with the demand. An anecdote from Mother's Milk actor Laz Alonso illustrates a peculiar supply chain problem. I do remember during episode 3 hearing the head of the makeup department talking to one of her girlfriends about ordering more blood. She said that they had already gone through more blood by episode 3 than they had through the entire season 2. In some ways, escalation is baked into The Boys' very DNA. Though the comic first premiered in October 2006, the adapted TV version is an intensely modern product. No series right now understands the relationship between customers and the superhero properties they demand to consume better than The Boys. The show's world, as depicted throughout the first 2 seasons and several ingenious augmented reality marketing efforts from Amazon, I've not seen it, is distinctly familiar. The public's love for its pseudo-fascist crime fighters is mostly the same. It's just that in The Boys universe, the soups aren't confined to our screens. Just as our superhero landscape must constantly grow bigger, with new team-up movies, ponderous TV side projects, and all manner of merchandising, so too must The Boys world. The Boys Season 2 delved into the past of superhero history with the introduction of Stormfront Aya Cash. Oh, I quite liked, but, you know, she kind of helped turn it into the girls, didn't she? Because Stormfront in the comics, apparently I've not read them, were you know, a male character, but they decided to do a gender swap. But, you know, but I did quite like that character. Now, Season 3 is set to dig even further back by presenting the show's very first soup, Soldier Boy. As played by Jensen Ackles, who previously collaborated with Kripke on Supernatural, Soldier Boy is sort of the boy's answer to Captain America, an image of an archaic patriot suddenly brought back to an unfamiliar modern world. Where are you going? He's kind of the original superhero in this world, Ackles says. We did get to see a little glimpse into that past, bringing in someone who has experienced that world into the modern age. You can only imagine. It was really fun to play an old man. The beard was tough, though. Ackles will be joined in the cast by Soldier Boy's fellow 1940s Payback team members Crimson Countess, Laurie Holden, and Gunpowder, Sean Patrick Flannery. Before the show can further delve into the story of Payback, however, there are some lingering issues from its core cast to address early on. Huey Jack Quaid is now working with Congresswoman Victoria Newman, Claudia Doomit, who, unbeknownst to Huey, is a secret brain-splattering soup. Fellow boys' teammates Kimiko, Karen Fukuhara, and Frenchie Toma Capon are still working through their sweet courtship, with Frenchie finally getting a full handle on American Sign Language to better communicate with his silent superpowered friend. There will also be some dancing, much to Fukuhara's surprise. I'm most excited for everyone to see Kimiko's dance sequence with Frenchie, she says. There was a tiny bit of it in the trailer. You know, I never expected to be able to do something like that ever in life, and I got to do it in a show playing a character that doesn't speak. Well, people, you don't need to speak to dance, do you? Anyway, on the Seven side of things, Starlight, Erin Moriarty, and Queen Maeve, Dominique McElligott, will have to recover from their titanic battle against Homelander and Stormfront. The Deep, Chase Crawford, is still stuck in his Church of the Collective Purgatory, while A-Train, Jesse T. Usher, is on his way back into the Seven Good Graces. Homelander, Anthony Starr, for his part, will likely be more adrift than ever, having lost what he seemed to perversely see as his family, and his wife, quotes, Becca, dead, and their son Ryan set to call Billy Butcher Papa. As for how that might go, Butcher actor Carl Urban is cautiously optimistic about Butcher's parenting chops. At the end of the season, he made a promise to Becca that he would look out for Ryan. He finds himself torn between two worlds, one to fulfill that promise, the other trying to get justice and revenge for her death and what happened to her. It's that moral inner turmoil battle that he struggled with. It's a lot of fun. I forgot what happened to her. I presume Stormfront did something horrible. Of course, in a universe where all that separates superheroes from normal civilians is a pharmaceutical compound, the divide between the two factions can grow quite thin. We see as much in the revealing teaser for Season 3 that features Butcher shooting lasers out of his eyes and throwing people across the room and puking too, but who knows if that's a superpower. In the original comic series, the boys were known to consume some Compound V, was it Compound 5? It's V in it. Every once in a while to better take down a soup. It would appear that Butcher has done the same here. Have another little drinky because I'm getting a bit dry. We decided to go full Bill Bixby. Great Incredible Hulk moment, Urban says, of a powered up Butcher. To me, the interesting character element about that is how far are you willing to go to achieve your goal? To destroy the thing you hate the most, are you willing to become that thing? To me, that's a very interesting existential question. All of the characters in The Boys have choices to make. Not only does every character on The Boys have a choice to make, but so do the folks behind the scenes as well. For while honouring the characters is the first priority for Kripke and company, they also did inherit some truly wild moments from their source material, one of which, the iconic and disgusting Hero-gasm arc, has been confirmed to take part in the back half of Season 3. We definitely did it as a dare, Kripke says. From the moment people heard we were making The Boys, people would say over and over again, but you're not going to do Hero-gasm. I dare you to do Hero-gasm. I've not read the comments, I have no idea what that is. I imagine it's disgusting and icky. Part of it was that we were in season 3, we were a hit. Amazon could say no to us less and less. So finally we were like, alright, let's do it. Let's effing do it. But don't think for a moment that even a superhero orgy is an indulgence. It all comes from this very logical place of pardon me. If there really was a superhero orgy, what would it look like? How would you depict it in the most honest way possible, Kripke says, because we're all about integrity here. We're just telling the truth, man. Oh, heck. The first 3 episodes of The Boys Season 3 premieres June 3rd on Prime Video. Oh, that's cool, 3 episodes to watch at once. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy The Boys, although Season 2 did go a bit overboard with the girls. But we'll see what Season 3 is like. I imagine it'll be, much of the same. Right, Moon Knight. Another superhero. Another that's people are looking forward to, but I imagine it's going to be more MCU shenanigans. New Moon Knight clip. Well, there's a picture there of I don't know anything about Moon Knight. New Moon Knight clip shows female character Layla Al Faouli laying down a beating while Oscar Isaac's character stands by and watches. The latest official Moon Knight clip appears to tease more of the same from Marvel Studios, as it shows actress May Kalamawi as Layla El Faouli, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, savaging a bunch of goons while Oscar Isaac's character stands around and watches. Let's watch it, let's watch it on here. We'll lower it down a bit because I don't know. Right, here we go.
Summon the suit.
Summon the suit? What are you saying?
The suit.
The suit?
Then keep this safe.
So be it.
Let's go.
All kicking off. Oscar Isaac's overdoing the mild-manneredness, isn't he?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Pit in Hatter to act Hera.
Very video gamey, that, innit? Yeah, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Very good. As you can see above, the clip shows Layla El Faouli encouraging Isaac's character to summon his Moon Knight suit. However, he visibly does not understand what she's talking about. It's understandable given Isaac's playing Moon Knight and previous trailers have indicated he appears to have multiple personalities and the right one doesn't know what the left is up to. She then gives him some kind of trinket, telling him to keep it safe. Apparently their little conversation is none too pleasing to Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow, who begins to perform a summoning ritual while his goons attempt to keep Layla and Isaac's character contained. As they attempt to escape up a staircase, Layla is able to exit the room, but Isaac's Stephen Grant is confronted by one of Harrow's goons. However, some kind of time anomaly appears to take place as Isaac is shown once again climbing the stairs and Layla's character is pummeling the goon at the top of the stairs. Well, they must have just cut a bit out. She beats the goon so badly that she slams him up against a wall, then tosses him off the balcony into a pile of wood. As the two men flee the scene, Isaac's Grant exclaims, "That was awesome." The clip ends... Sorry, I'm a bit... I should blow my nose, but I can't be bothered. The clip ends with Harrow finishing off his ritual and some kind of demonic creature clawing its way out of the portal. Yeah, which looked a bit naff, didn't it, really? The clip saw numerous fans criticise it on Twitter. Quasar2967 wrote, would have been nice to actually see some Moon Knight in the show called Moon Knight. YouTuber Jane Theory, yeah, Jane. I don't know her, but I know of her. Wrote, so he's literally just going to stand by and do nothing. Well, yeah, because it's the Whammons that do things now, isn't it, in the MCU. Pogosi wrote, I regret to not live in a world where Moon Knight was adapted by Mario Bava, Dario Argento or Lucio Fulci. Those were the only ones who could have pulled it off and give Marvel's Master of Macabre justice. Instead I got Disney and SFX that looked like a Charmed episode. Oh, Cyberpumpkin, yeah. I kind of disagree with that because I'm not a big fan of what they call giallo horror, Italian horror, to be honest. It's true, I'm not. So there you go. Irving Grew said, wow, another girl power focus show. Can't wait to skip. Samura35 stated, summon the suit. Oh, Jesus Christ, why is the suit magic? It's not supposed to be magic, he just puts it on. I knew from the first trailer that shows was going to be a disappointment. Yeah. The show. Jester of Roanoke, aka Blue Jester, wrote, she sure was lucky that she ran into that very accommodating stuntman. Imagine if she had run into a real bad guy. Yeah, well, yeah. With a gun. Yeah. Why No Fair 85 tweeted, yet another character ruined by the MCU, and here I was actually somewhat excited to finally see a live action Moon Knight. Yeah. YouTube and Nina Infinity, hey, go Nina, wrote, Marvel is creatively bankrupt. The strong, independent whammon trope is tired AF, but they insist on continuing with it because they think it's actually edgy. Yeah, I agree, Nina. I don't know why they keep thinking this, because, time and time again, they've lost money and lost viewers and just got loads of crap for it, with one or two people defending them. But like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people telling them stop doing it. Even, including women. Anyway, the official description for Moon Knight reads, the story follows Stephen Grant, a mild-mannered gift shop employee who becomes plagued with blackouts and memories of another life. Stephen discovers he has dissociative identity. Oh, I can't talk. Dissociative identity disorder and shares a body with mercenary Mark Spector. As Stephen/Mark's enemies converge upon them, they must navigate their complex identities while thrust into a deadly mystery among the powerful gods of Egypt, but not the gods from that horrible film. By Alex Proyas, who I'm a big fan of as a director, but that Gods of Egypt film was bloody awful, and I've still not watched it all the way through. I've started watching it and tried watching it a few times and never made it more than about halfway. If that, Moon Knight arrives on Disney Plus on March 30th, 2022. There we go. So that's not far off, is that? It's on next week, isn't it? There we go. So there we go. There he is as Moon Knight. Has he just beaten up them, or has he just arrived after she's beaten them up? So yeah, it's just more of the same from the established Hollywood studios, Disney, etc. Putting men down while building women up. Women don't need building up. They're amazing as they are. But stop having 90-pound women beating up and throwing round like 200-pound muscly men. Don't work like that in real life. Let's do some Star Trek. Star Trek 4's Chris Pine knows one thing about the sequel script. Chris Pine confirms Star Trek 4 isn't using the script written for Pulp Fiction director Quentin Tarantino's unrealised R-rated Trek outing. Is that the one thing he knows? If it is, you've just spoiled the whole article. Star Trek 4 star Chris Pine debunked rumours that the upcoming sequel will use the script originally written for another unrealised entry in the Sci-Fi franchise. Pine, who plays Captain James T. Kirk, discussed the film's screenplay in a recent interview with Yahoo Entertainment. While Pine admitted Star Trek 4's creative direction was hard to say anything about without a script or a story, he also laid to rest speculation the project shares any connection to Quentin Tarantino's as yet unmade Star Trek film. But I think we all knew that anyway. The actor further revealed that although he was interested in Tarantino's vision for the series, which reportedly targeted an R rating, he hadn't read the script itself, which was penned by the Revenant's Mark L. Smith, and I bet it'd have been crap. Bet it would. It wouldn't have been Star Trek. It'd have been like these new bloody Star Treks, all effing and blinding every 2 minutes. It would. Sorry, Tarantino's not a man to do Star Trek. It's not in his wheelhouse. Paramount confirmed it was moving forward with Tarantino's Star Trek pitch in December 2017, a few months after the acclaimed auteur publicly expressed interest in helming a film set in the franchise's universe. Despite a flurry of headlines in the wake of this news, by January 2020, Tarantino stepped down as director and the project stalled. Thank God. While little is known about Tarantino's plans for the movie, Smith said in August 2021 that his Star Trek script included an awesome, cool gangster scene and time travel stuff. Meanwhile, Paramount was also trying, because they were saying it were going to be a piece of the action from the original series, where that planet had been left a book on gangsters of the 1920s or something. Chicago mobs of the 1920s or something like that, wasn't it? So they built the whole civilization around it, so they're all walking around going, "Hey, you moke," and all that, weren't they? It was a funny episode, but, it wasn't Star Trek at its best, was it? Well, obviously Tarantino liked it, because he wanted to do a film like it. What a knob. Anyway, meanwhile, Paramount was also trying to get Star Trek 4 off the ground alongside Tarantino's film. These efforts ultimately fell apart in 2019 when the studio couldn't reach an agreement over salaries with Pine and co-star Chris Hemsworth. Paramount's reluctance to honour Pine and Hemsworth's existing deals apparently stemmed from concerns over the production's overall price tag, especially after Star Trek Beyond underperformed at the box office. It didn't help that it didn't have a decent first trailer, did Beyond. I think that put a lot of people off. But it actually ended up being the best of the three, JJ verse Star Trek films. Which isn't saying much, really, but I quite enjoy Star Trek Beyond. But I did have some problems with it. But as a story, it was fine. This wasn't the end for Star Trek 4, though. At the February 2022 Viacom investor event, Paramount executive Brian Robbins and Star Trek producer J.J. Abrams announced the Star Trek sequel was back on. Robbins and Abrams further stated that principal photography was slated for late 2022, with the cast of the previous 3 Star Trek movies expected to return. What happened to J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot, getting $500 million from Warner Brothers to do Superman films, other DC stuff? Is that not happening now? Or are they okay with him working with another studio, after giving him $500 million? Or have they sacked him and kept it quiet? Dunno. The Star Trek 4 announcement allegedly came as a surprise to Pine and his co-stars Zachary Quinto, Zoe Saldana, Carl Urban, John Cho and Simon Pegg. According to the actors' respective representatives, they weren't briefed ahead of time that Paramount intended to announce Star Trek 4, nor had they entered talks yet to reprise their roles. Oh, I said reprise again, didn't I? Instead of reprise. I'm going to start saying reprise, wasn't I? Yesterday I said that. I'm fickle. Some of the cast have nevertheless confirmed they'd consider boarding the USS Enterprise a 4th time. This includes Urban, who said in a recent interview, "I would love to work with those guys again. So much fun, the best hang. We'll see." Star Trek 4 is set to premiere on December 22nd, 2023. Yeah, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? There's one thing about the sequel script, and that it's not another thing. Right. The 10 most successful sci-fi movies at the Oscars. Fill your champagne flute and toast science fiction's big winners that took home the gold at the Academy Awards. I think that's from Gravity, is it? Don't know. We don't see sci-fi movies at the Oscars as often as we like, but over the years some amazing sci-fi flicks have received the recognition they deserved. That's right, it's that time of the year again when celebrities and creative luminaries dust off their tuxedos or ball gowns to join the pomp and pageantry that is the Academy Awards ceremony. Sunday, March 27th, 2022 is the date set for the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences 94th edition of this gala event that recognises outstanding achievements from Hollywood's finest actors, directors, screenwriters, editors, composers, producers, cinematographers, costumers, special effects gurus and sound technicians. The ultimate reward for victory is the iconic golden Oscar statue, recognition of excellence and the admiration or envy from your peers. Science fiction has had a sticky relationship with the Oscars over the decades, often regarded as lowbrow, B-movie fare, until Stanley Kubrick's existential masterpiece 2001: A Space Odyssey shattered perceptions back in 1968. Then in 1977, George Lucas, I don't know if it won any Oscars though, but I know in the same year, Planet of the Apes won a special Academy Award for its makeup effects, didn't it? Anyway, then in 1977, George Lucas launched his Star Wars empire that solidified the genre as extremely profitable and ultimately worthy of respect. Even so, only the best sci-fi movies have a chance of winning big at the Oscars. I think Star Wars won about 5, didn't it? Did it get 7 nominations and won 5? I think it did. I think it got nominated for Best Picture, didn't it, Star Wars? Didn't win that, though. Over the past few decades, there have been many notable winners based on speculative fiction material, whether that's realistic space movies or full-blown sci-fi. But which are the best of the best? Let's walk down the red carpet and salute the 10 most successful sci-fi movies in Oscar history. Right, number 10, Aliens. I won't read all that. But he got 2 Oscars, got 7 noms, 2 wins. Best Visual Effects and Best Sound Editing. It also got a nomination for Sigourney Weaver for Best Actress. They still say actress at the Oscars, don't they? And none of the women actors moan about that, do they? Or if they do, no one gets done about it. Right, James Cameron never wanted to imitate Ridley Scott's stylish original Alien film, and instead went for a gung-ho combat film filled with old-school war movie tropes and a blistering pace that grabs you by the jugular. Colonial Marines are sent back to the hostile planetoid LV-426 to investigate the lost terraforming colony known as Hadley's Hope. The bug hunt begins as soon as boots are on the ground and never ends until Ripley's final epic confrontation with a menacing alien queen back aboard the USS Sulaco troop transport spaceship. If you want to watch this absolute gem, check out our Alien streaming guide. So, got 7 noms and 2 wins. Jurassic Park. That got 3 nominations and 3 wins for Best Visual Effects, Best Sound Mixing and Best Sound Editing. So it wasn't even nominated for Best Picture or anything like that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Life finds a way, as seen in the first movie that spawned a billion-dollar dinosaur franchise, featuring an exotic island theme park with cloned biological attractions. Jurassic Park was a multi-generational crowd pleaser, adapted from author Michael Crichton's best-selling novel of the same name. What's most shocking about Spielberg's epic sci-fi adventure is how well the computer-generated dinosaurs hold up after nearly 30 years, and they do, which is a testament to the team at Industrial Light and Magic, and kudos to Stan Winston and his crew for elevating practical effects to another dimension with their full-sized, articulated monsters, inflicting true terror on viewers. Even after 4 sequels and a 5th on its way, the original is by far still the best. Yeah, it is. It is. Black Panther. It got 7 nominations and won 3 for Best Original Score, Best Production Design and Best Costume Design, and I think it were overrated. Didn't hate it, but I didn't think it was particularly good either, to be honest. Anyway, Afrofuturism, that sounds a bit anyway, takes centre stage in this mega successful Marvel movie chronicling the rise of T'Challa, the charismatic king of the secret techno kingdom of Wakanda, and its exploitation to acquire the rare exotic metal called vibranium. It's a gorgeous movie in every respect, and its pounding tribal soundtrack allows for complete immersion into its imaginary comic book world. Chadwick Boseman delivers a standout performance as the titular superhero, and his untimely passing in 2020 was mourned by fans worldwide. A highly anticipated sequel, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, arrives in November of 2022 without Boseman or the character being recast. If you... blah, 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 blah. Right, Avatar, a film I really like. People say, it's just Fern Gully and Dances with Wolves and Pocahontas, and yeah, it is, but I still like it. That got 7 nominations, won 3 for Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects and Best Production Design. It was nominated for Best Picture. The look on James Cameron's face when his ex-wife won for The Hurt Locker. Hey, that was funny. Welcome to the wondrous planet of Pandora, where peaceful native inhabitants called the Na'vi are trying to protect their sacred land from greedy interstellar corporations, greedy interstellar corporation, bent on destruction and domination. The corporation is trying to mine the rare metal unobtainium. Oh, God, I hated that film. Unobtainium. You could have thought of something else, Jim. Which we're pretty sure was a placeholder name, that got left in the script, Yep. Despite that, Cameron's lush world building and the inspiring tale of a paraplegic named Jake Sully who enters an artificial body to act as a liaison between the two cultures enthralled audiences to elevate the film to the #1 spot on the all-time box office list. Its soaring visuals and vibrant biomes captured the hearts and imaginations of sci-fi fans worldwide, who are now eagerly awaiting the first of 3 planned sequels this December. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That got 6 noms and won 4 for Best Sound Editing, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects and Best Makeup. Just like he told you in 1984's Terminator, Arnold's T-800 assassin robot is back for this blockbuster follow-up, that most fans and critics feel was the high watermark for the franchise. Although I've enjoyed all the Terminator films for what they are, even Dark Fate, I didn't hate it, but it wasn't not as good as Terminator 2. That was the bestest. This version of the indefatigable killing machine has returned to protect Sarah Connor and her future resistance leader son John, which they killed. Spoilers at the beginning of Terminator Dark Fate. So that were bad, but the rest of the film I didn't mind. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Anyway, instead of trying to murder them, but a shape-shifting liquid metal upgrade called a T-1000, played to chilling perfection by Robert Patrick, is out to reshape the future. I like that series, Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles TV series. I think it lasted 2 seasons, and it had Lena Headey as Sarah Connor. That were good, because that kind of made the T-1000s more mysterious, and he got the impression that they weren't created by Skynet, that there was something separate. And it was good with that. It was good, but it got cancelled before we found out any more. Anyway, like Cameron's macho xenomorph hunting mission in Aliens, this Hollywood tentpole is a juggernaut of stunning action set pieces and humanistic pathos. Box office receipts topped $500 million for a theatrical slam dunk that would inspire 4 more sequels of diminishing merit. Inception. That got 8 noms and won 4 for Best Visual Effects, Best Cinematography, Best Sound Mixing and Best Sound Editing. And there they've done the optical illusion thing, haven't they? I forgot what they call it. It's got a name, but don't ask me. Is the totem still twirling? Nolan's mind-bending tale of a dream insertion team attempting to plant a notion into a billionaire CEO's brain is slightly confusing, but nonetheless an exhilarating ride. It's a great example of a well-executed concept using all the tricks of the cinematic trade. Composer Hans Zimmer's original score is both brilliant and bombastic, and adds another gem to his body of work with Nolan that included Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. You might get lost in the movie's multi-level dreamscapes, but you'll emerge in the end, having experienced something totally fresh and fulfilling, even if you can't explain every last trippy detail. He was alright with Inception. I've got this love-hate relationship with Christopher Nolan. Like I say, makes good films and is good at directed action. Like I said, the James Bondy style snowy scene in Inception is great. But his films are a lot of look how clever I am doing all this cool, complicated stuff. Are you clever enough to understand it? Yeah. Anyway, I feel he's talking down to his audience all the time. That's what I'm trying to get at. Hey, E.T., the extraterrestrial, the extraterrestrial, got 9 nominations and won 4. Best Visual Effects, Best Original Score, Best Sound Mixing and Best Sound Editing. Dear. Like I said, John Williams' score is it's a classic. But then his scores generally are of whatever. I even liked his score for Always. The beloved movie... Did he do Always? I'm thinking now. Anyway. The beloved movie that immortalised Reese's Pieces candy was initially titled A Boy's Life and began as a much darker coming-of-age movie. When a squat little alien is stranded on Earth, he is discovered by a young boy who befriends the strange creature and welcomes him into his family's suburban California household. But nefarious government agents are on E.T.'s trail, while his new allies attempt to keep him safe and find a way to signal his kind so he can go back to his alien world. Special effects master Carlo Rambaldi and his team created the $1.5 million puppet that made audiences believe and brought the gentle alien to life. This magical film celebrates its 40th birthday in June. I'm not a huge fan of Carlo Rambaldi, to be honest. I think his puppets and stuff and his creatures he creates are a bit crap based. They look like plasticine, a lot of them. The things he did in Close Encounters, the aliens in that, they looked a bit naff. And E.T., to be honest, looked a bit naff. So there you go. But that's just my opinion. Number 3, Mad Max Fury Road. That got 10 nominations. Wow. And it won 6 for Best Costume Design, Best Sound Mixing, Best Production Design, Best Makeup, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound Editing. The post-apocalyptic wastelands of Earth never looked so cool as in director George Miller's reboot of Mad Max, the 1979 classic starring Mel Gibson. This gritty resurrection of the burned-out former Main Force police officer is a visual feast of savage freaks, anti-hero saviours, tragic villains and souped-up battle wagons. Pardon me. Tom Hardy as Max Rokitansky and Charlize Theron's Imperator Furiosa made for a formidable couple with searing chemistry. No, they don't have any chemistry. Up against the evil Immortanjo, who was played by the fella who played the baddie in the first Mad Max and who passed away in the last year or two. Anyway, it's all a high-octane, adrenalised thrill ride punctuated by flaming guitars and the driving techno score by Junkie XL. It's a masterful, modern-day fable for unsettling times. Yeah, it's good. I like Mad Max Fury Road. Thought it were good. Right, Gravity. That got 10 noms and won 7 for Best Original Score, Best Director, there we go, Best Visual Effects, Best Cinematography, Best Sound Mixing, Best Film Editing, and Best Sound Editing. Sweeping outer space vistas combined with a gripping story of astronaut survival made Gravity the must-see movie of 2013. Who directed it? I forgot. Is it? Yeah, Alfonso Cuarón. Yeah. And it was amply rewarded when it came to Academy Awards time. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney portray shuttle crew members who must use their wits and training while attempting to save themselves and return to Earth after space debris destroys their craft. Though perceived as slightly overrated in the past decade, its jaw-dropping visuals from cinematographer Emmanuel Lubezki remain inspiring and revelatory. Its detailed plot reinforces the irrefutable fact that outer space is a cold, unforgiving environment. Yeah, but it wasn't exactly realistic, was it? I mean, she quite easily got from one place to another, didn't she? But it was a good film. I enjoyed it, and I saw it on. I've got the 3D Blu-ray, and I watched it in 3D. Can't watch it now, because I haven't got my 3D telly anymore. But never mind. And it was good in 3D. All those little bits flying about. Number 1, Star Wars: A New Hope. It was just Star Wars back then. Get it right. That got 10 noms and 1 7. Hey, I thought it was 7. I said 5 or 7. It's 7. For Best Original Score, yeah. Best Visual Effects, yeah. Best Sound Mixing, Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing. It's a special achievement for Sound Effects Editing. The original space opera that launched a $70 billion empire was a big winner on Oscar night in 1978, including a rare special achievement statue for engineer Ben Burt, who created sound effects for the droids, spaceships, blasters and lightsabers. This rousing space spectacle was an ambitious farm boy, about an ambitious farm boy from the planet Tatooine and his mentor Obi-Wan Kenobi, going to save a princess. Well, just Ben mostly, wasn't he? Going to save a princess from the clutches of the Empire and its evil overlord Darth Vader. Along the way, he enlists the help of a handsome smuggler and his walking carpet Wookiee companion, Chewbacca. Star Wars is a sci-fi icon that still feels amazingly fresh as we celebrate its 45th anniversary in May. And that's your lot. So there you go. Top 10 sci-fi at the Oscars. And I like all of them films. I think the film I like the least out of all them is probably Inception. So there you go. Right, Jeffrey Combs. Acting great, Jeffrey Combs, or is it Combs? I've always said Combs, whatever. Reveals why new Star Trek really is different. And there's my favourite character he portrayed, Commander Shran, the Andorian in Star Trek Enterprise. If you watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine and hated every moment when the Ferengi Brunt tortured poor Quark, then you are a fan of this man. If you wondered how many times Weyoun could come back to life, you are a fan of this man. If you read the heavy article which revealed how Shran would have served with Captain Archer if Enterprise made it to a 5th season, then you are a fan of this man. Indeed, by now you may have guessed that this man is the great actor Jeffrey Combs, whose ability to slip into multiple different roles is unquestionable. The last time we saw or heard Combs in a Star Trek role was when he popped up as an evil artificial intelligence on Lower Decks. Didn't see it because I hate Lower Decks. I think I saw the first 2 episodes of the first season and thought that I'm out. Anyway, that AI was named Agimus. I don't know. Was more like a cameo for this actor. He has logged more than 50 episodes of Trek as 9 different characters. Coombs appeared at GalaxyCon Richmond over the March 18th to 20th weekend. He was just one of the luminaries from Star Trek who made the journey to Virginia to meet fans, sign autographs and pose for selfies. Brent Spiner, Data and William Shatner Kirk and Trouble with Trouble's writer David Gerald was there as well. Is it Gerald or Gerald? I never know how to pronounce that. Jeffrey Combs on Trek. And there's a YouTube video. I don't know. What's it say? Are you insane? Jeffrey Combs Star Trek. I don't know if that's going to be a long video or a short video. Let's just play and see what happens. 2 minutes.
Well, hello!
The Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother.
So that gives you an idea of what he's done. Fans might assume that with as much new Trek underway, eventually Coombs will be cast as a new character, or perhaps Shran might make it onto an upcoming episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Heavy was able to catch up with the veteran actor. Unfortunately, fans should not expect to see him on any new episodes of Star Trek anytime soon. Zippo, Coombs replied when asked if he's been approached to return to Star Trek. There's a little bit of logistics involved, said Coombs. Discovery and Strange New Worlds are shot in Canada. Paramount gets benefits for doing that, but there's trade-offs. One of them is, please use Canadian actors. We'd prefer that. So it kind of hinders a lot of us American actors in California from being able to play in that sandbox, said Coombs. Fans might not realise that most of the main actors for Discovery were cast from Canadian actors. StarTrek.com states that in 2020 more than a dozen Canadian actors appear on Discovery. Canadian actors on Trek are nothing new, as the original Captain James T. Kirk himself, Shatner, is a proud Canadian and hails from Montreal. Coombs as Shran. But what is different now, according to Coombs, is that the financial incentives created by Canada for Paramount to produce Trek north of the border make casting veteran actors much more difficult. That's not something that they want to point out, because they just want you to think that's all Star Trek, said Coombs. But until Discovery, every Star Trek was done on the Paramount lot. So this is a big shift, a big change. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the Canadian province of Ontario aggressively courted a few shows. Thanks to a 35% tax credit, they landed American Gods, The Handmaid's Tale and Discovery. Variety also noted that these incentives can be stacked, meaning that a film or television show can take advantage of two sets of incentives, one set from a province like Ontario or Saskatchewan, and then a second set from the national incentive system. That system also involves refunds for hiring Canadian actors and other staff. It's kind of one of the reasons why you sense this real difference, said Coombs. It's different. This whole difference is good, but there's other reasons for the difference too. Yeah, because new Star Trek is crap, so you don't want to appear in it and soil your legacy. If he appeared as Shran in Strange New Worlds without the new makeup for the Andorians, God. With all the lumpy, bumpy bits on that they stick on for no reason, that they've got, apart from they've got to be 25% different. But they don't have to be now, because the reason for the 25% difference was because the Star Trek brand was split, wasn't it? The movies brand and the TV brand. And because one was owned by Paramount and one was owned by Viacom, that's why they had to have these differences. But now it's all been reunited, hasn't it now? So there's no excuse. They've no excuse for changing stuff apart from they want to change stuff. And they just want to annoy fans. Right, more Star Trek. Today in history, March 23rd. It was Captain Kirk's birthday yesterday, wasn't it? Sorry, William Shatner's. Happy birthday, Bill. But what is he? Is he 91 now? Is he 91 or 90? I can't remember. But he's still a knob. Today in Star Trek history, Errand of Mercy airs along with the series' first Klingons, and there's Kolikos. What's his first name now? Him anyway. Right, God, that right is little, isn't it? Let's make that a bit bigger. Crikey Moses. Make that a bit bigger. There we go. Oh, crack, what we've done. Right, March 23rd, 2022. That's today. Oh, where are we going? In 1967, fans of Star Trek meet an alien race that will be part of their universe for 55 years and counting. Over time, we would learn that their society had a strong sense of honour and tradition. They would become allies to the Federation, suffer a brief civil war, and fight alongside Starfleet in the Dominion War. Their defining physical feature was that their head ridges, except when they weren't there, a discrepancy explained by a mutagenic plague that wiped their foreheads clean 100 years before Kirk and Co. and the audience met them. But the genesis of the Klingons was much more straightforward than the history of their head ridges. Today we take a look back at Star Trek, the original series, Season 1 episode, Errand of Mercy. Star Trek had been picked up by the network, Next Work, for a total of 26 episodes. There was a time when that would make a full season. Today, depending on the network and series, that might be 2 seasons, but with only a few days' notice, NBC picked up 3 final episodes for the season. The first one of these, written by Gene Coon, the real hero of Star Trek, the real, a proper creative force in Star Trek. The fastest typewriter in the West was Errand of Mercy. Coon, the producer on the series, prioritised saving money. Money on Trek had always been tight, but with 3 additional scripts ordered, pinching pennies was a must. Special effects in the episode are limited, and the only interior we see on the Enterprise is the bridge, allowing the planet interiors to be built on Stage 9, usually reserved for other ship interiors. McCoy and Scotty are conspicuously missing from the episode as well, saving on the casting budget, and the village on the planet Organia was written to match an outdoor set already standing on the Desilu lot. From initial story outline to final draft, the writing of the episode only took a few weeks, fast even for Coon, who had a reputation for churning out excellent scripts in minimal time. It has everything a good Trek script should have. It primarily uses the 2 most popular characters of the series, Kirk and Spock. The title is inspired by a line from Charles Dickens's The Life and Adventures of Nicholas Nickleby. It is an errand of mercy which brings me here, pray let me discharge it. It introduces a mysterious alien race who are hiding a secret behind their friendly smiles, and it holds a timely anti-war message. There are alien livestock that look suspiciously like Terran goats, spray-painted blue-green. And oh yes, it introduces the Klingons. Errand of Mercy as a whole was an allegory for the ongoing war in Vietnam, with the planet Organia standing in for Vietnam. The Federation is depicted in the script as a substitute for America, and the warlike Klingon Empire was designed to remind viewers of China and its allies. Kirk and Klingon Commander John Colicos, popped in my head then. Kirk and Klingon Commander Kor want to make war, not love. And the ruling council of Organia are pacifists to a fault, using their powers to frustrate the enemy's attempts at violence against one another. The name Klingon was an homage by series creator Gene Roddenberry to Lieutenant Wilbur Klingon, a fellow officer of his in the Los Angeles Police Department before he became a television writer. With so many cost-cutting measures, creating a complicated look for a new alien species was out of the question. Hence, using makeup to darken the skin and the addition of some facial hair were all the production could afford to make the Klingons look alien, but for late 60s television it was enough. When the Klingons appeared in Star Trek the Motion Picture, Roddenberry wanted to make them seem more alien by adding 4 head ridges, touching off a fan debate about how and why they had evolved a different look between the series and the film. The debate was settled temporarily in a Star Trek Enterprise episode, then was resumed with an excessive fervour when the makeup changed again in Star Trek Discovery. But we haven't seen a Klingon I don't think, in Star Trek Discovery seasons 3 and 4. Well, we haven't seen a single Klingon, I don't think. No, we haven't. And in Star Trek Picard, we just got a quick look of Worf in season 1 as like a little holographic image or whatever of Worf when you were looking at some files on the screen or whatever. I think they don't want to do Klingons anymore in Star Trek. Anyway, but for now, that was all in the distant future, with sequel films and series not even a glint in fans' eyes. To play the first major Klingon in history, the producers hired John Colicos, a recommendation from episode director John Newland. Colicos himself was the one who came up with the Klingons' look, suggesting to makeup artist Fred Phillips that they look to the past for inspiration from Genghis Khan. In the episode, Kirk is perhaps written a little more bloodthirsty than usual, igniting a Klingon ammunition dump and trying his darndest to get the Organians to fight against their oppressors. Yeah, we're a bit gung-ho. In the end, the Organians neither need nor want the Federation's help to banish the Klingons, mirroring what was happening in Southeast Asia at the time the episode aired. Kirk is ultimately embarrassed at his behaviour, being angry at the Organians' prevention of a war that he didn't even want. The Organians would appear again in prequel series Enterprise's episode Observer Effect. Yeah, we mentioned this other day, didn't we? And I said I really like that episode. It's where they're going and observing the Enterprise crew from within other Enterprise crew members, and I didn't realise they were Organians. I thought they were just another alien race. Anyway, as for the Klingons, they were seen in a further 148 Star Trek episodes and films, not counting Worf's weekly appearances in Star Trek The Next Generation and 4 seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine over almost every series. Starting as an allegory designed to deliver a message, the Klingons have clung on to be one of the franchise's most recognisable and prolific alien races. Ironic considering their origin began with a hastily written script ordered by the network at the last minute. It's a good bet that they aren't finished yet, with more Trek series on their way in the near future. Only time will tell how the race will continue to evolve, but it's certain that fans of the franchise will have lots to talk about when they do return. If they return. Be interesting to see what happens in Strange New Worlds, if they have some interactions with Klingons in that. But I suspect they're not going to. Right. What's at the centre of the Star Wars galaxy? God, there we go. Star Wars still holds one of the most well-known galaxies in fiction, yet no show or movie has ever addressed what dangers sit at the very centre. The iconic they've done it again, haven't they? The iconic galaxy far, far away continues to be fleshed out with every new piece of Star Wars media. With an estimated 400 billion stars and over 3.2 billion habitable planets, it's safe to say that Star Wars won't run out of new locations anytime soon. So then why do they keep going to the same ones? But with the constantly updated lore, there is still little known about what sits directly in the centre of the vast galaxy. The city planet of Coruscant sits relatively close to the galaxy's centre, the core worlds. Because of its central location, it served as the meeting place for species from all over and housed the headquarters for both the Republic and the Empire. With Coruscant's positioning and importance, the planet was made to be the central point for the galaxy's coordinates, meaning on a star map, Coruscant sat at 000. And not the Enterprise's destruct code. Ooh, I'm getting a numb bum. However, Coruscant isn't the true centre of the galaxy. The 2016 reference book Star Wars Galactic Atlas, I just remembered I made this big, didn't I? I'll leave it as it is. Maps much of the known galaxy and describes what lurks at the innermost region. Much like most galaxies in the universe, a supermassive black hole sits at the heart, with every planet, sun and solar system orbiting it. Known as the deep core region of the galaxy, this black hole consumes any nearby matter, preventing any life from living nearby. Yet some suns can orbit just out of reach of its gravitational pull, so they aren't sucked into the void. But this still causes other problems, as these suns find themselves moving around more so than any others, and it makes nearby space travel all the more dangerous. Oops. Hyperspace lanes are plotted routes throughout the galaxy, which are mapped as safe and secure passageways between the worlds. Most pilots will stay within these lanes, preventing the risk of flying into various objects in space. But within the deep core, it's impossible to keep these lanes constantly in check. The moving suns mean the lanes have to be rerouted daily to prevent catastrophe. Pardon me. And general travel in the area comes with many warnings. Again, much like the real world, little is known about the central black hole. Just a minute. Oh, that went down in a lump. The Star Wars Atlas mentions that photos of black holes were taken just outside of their event horizon, but no details on their physics or inner workings have been given. However, that hasn't stopped fans from theorising about what really sits at the centre of the galaxy. The Force is the mysterious energy that binds the galaxy together, and some hypothesize that the black hole has something to do with this. The animated Star Wars The Clone Wars backs up this idea, as during one of the show's final acts, Yoda is guided across the galaxy to learn how to become a Force ghost. One of the planets he arrives on is a mysterious homeworld to midichlorians and houses Force priestesses. This bright and fantastical planet could be considered the origin of the Force and quite possibly the true centre of the galaxy. It's described as being in the heart of the galaxy, and its true location is left ambiguous. So while the details are left vague, there's a convincing argument to be made about where the planet sits in Star Wars, and hopefully fans will see it again, because if Rey wishes to retain consciousness after death, she'll likely have to return there herself. No, she won't, because she'll be able to just do it. Because she's Rey. She's Rey Palpatine. And she's the bestest ever. Right, last up. Elon Musk says SpaceX's huge Starship rocket will hopefully launch on its first orbital flight in May, provided an FAA environmental review wraps up by then. And there's a photo of the stacked Starship on top of the super heavy booster. Right, SpaceX's huge Starship rocket for eventual trips to the Moon and Mars could go orbital for the first time just 2 months from now, if all goes according to plan. SpaceX is developing Starship to take people and cargo to the Moon, Mars and beyond. The vehicle consists of two elements, a first stage booster called Super Heavy and an upper stage spacecraft known as Starship. Starship and Super Heavy are both designed to be completely and rapidly reusable, and both will be powered by SpaceX's new Raptor engine, 33 for Super Heavy and 6 for Starship. It's a challenge to build so many engines, but SpaceX is on track to have enough for the first Starship orbital test flight soon, company founder and CEO Elon Musk said. We'll have 39 flight-worthy engines built by next month, and then another month to integrate. So hopefully May for orbital flight test. I thought a while ago they did a thing where they said they'd built their 100th Raptor engine, or it might have been the Merlin engines then for the Falcon 9 rockets. Then maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Anyway, that target is also dependent on the timely resolution of an environmental review that the US Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) is conducting of Starship launch operations at Starbase, SpaceX's facility in South Texas. That view is scheduled to wrap up by March 28th, FAA officials have said. SpaceX has performed a number of Starship test launches already, but those have involved prototype upper stage vehicles with a maximum of 3 Raptor engines that flew just 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers high or so. The upcoming orbital test flight will mark the first ever launch of a Super Heavy as well as the first liftoff of a 6-engine Starship. The Super Heavy booster will splash down in the Gulf of Mexico shortly after liftoff. The Starship upper stage, meanwhile, will power its way to orbit, circling our planet once and splash down in the Pacific Ocean near the Hawaiian island of Kauai. How do you pronounce that? Kauai. There, anyway. If all goes according to plan, the target timeline for the debut orbital Starship flight has shifted to the right multiple times over the past year or so, hardly an unexpected occurrence in the development of a new launch vehicle, especially one that has not yet run the full regulatory gauntlet. So there we go. Hopefully May, it's not far off. I suspect it might get delayed a bit more, but hopefully by the end of the year they'll at least have done one orbital test flight. Anyway, so there you go. That's your lot. We've done and dusted, as they say. Or as I say. Or as nobody says. Right. Guess what I'm going to say next? We'll leave it there. So, until tomorrow, be nice to each other, help each other out whenever you can, and if I dig up some more news tomorrow, you might see me on Twitch, looking for some news, if I can get it to bloody work. So until tomorrow, I'll see thee. There. Sorry, I was just looking for my mouse cursor. I'm going now. Bye.